And oh, Kevin, did we get more than we bargained for with Knicks Sixers. 104 to 101. The Knicks go up 2-0 in the series. And the way this game ended is one that, no hyperbole, we honestly will not forget. Because how rare is it to see a team that is up by 5 points give up 6 points in a 20-second span off of a Brunson three, then a steal, then an offensive rebound, a DiVincenzo missed three, then a DiVincenzo made three that ends up giving the Knicks the lead, and then they're able to hold on.
How can the Sixers take this back? How do you bounce back from that is the way I'm feeling right now. It's what a bummer for Sixers fans, and boy, oh boy, for Knicks fans. That kind of epitomizes who they are. Playing with Hart and Hartenstein down the stretch of that game. That was awesome.
And Hartenstein, you want to talk about game-winning plays. Holy mackerel. Not only did he get the huge offensive rebound when it mattered most, then the block on Maxey on a game-tying opportunity for them. I mean, just huge plays. And
even, Chris, the play that didn't go right for the Knicks when Hartenstein was defending Embiid at the elbow and he kicked it out to Maxey for a three to take the lead. Hartenstein did a great job on that possession to really hold steady against Embiid. It's just Hart overhelped, and that's what left Maxey open. But even on the play where it didn't go right, I felt like he played awesome defense. Like every moment down the stretch, he was unbelievable for the Knicks.
And it's just a couple of plays. It's one of those that, when we sometimes it can sound trite that every play matters. Like truly, the Sixers flipped that game completely. The Knicks were dead in the water. It was an 18-6 run for like the last 7 minutes of that game. 11 of those by Maxey. Maxey was off the charts great. And he's got 11 of this 18. It's an 18-6 run. They flipped the game completely. They're still up 5. Bam, bam, right? At the end of that game. I mean, do you see the way that plays out where they've got the ball? It's Lowry hits a free throw and makes it 101-96. Then you come back down. Brunson hits that corner three or from the side or right in front of the bench. And then absolute chaos after that. But, I mean, you were up 101-96 with 47 seconds left. That's a tough one to lose. That is a tough one to lose.
It follows the same script in a lot of different ways, because in this game today, the Sixers were a +3 in Embiid's minutes on the floor. He had 34 points in the game. Granted, it was on 29 shots. It wasn't the most efficient game for Joel Embiid, but they still were positive with him in the game, just like Game 1, which they also lose. And that performance with Embiid, they were a big plus with him on the floor and a huge minus with him off the floor. And this is now, these two games are the 9th and 10th time in his entire playoff career in which the Sixers had a positive plus-minus with Embiid on the floor, but they lost. And that includes 2 Game 7 losses. So for Embiid, this is the same as it's always been, where he's been a plus on a lot of these games that the Sixers have managed to lose. And I think for the Philadelphia 76ers series is not over yet. But, man, like those non-Embiid minutes, they have to find a way to be better. And I don't think they have the solutions right now with this team, because when Paul Reed is out there, you saw it at the end of the third quarter. They were doubling Maxey on offense, pressuring him, trying to get the ball out of his hands, and they were just going at the rim with ease, with Paul Reed protecting the rim and not Joel Embiid out there. I just don't think this Philly roster, despite all the good improvements they've made this year at the wing spot and Maxey's own improvement in the backcourt, even Lowry, the midseason addition, he's been very good for them. They don't have the size behind Embiid that they need.
Somebody's got to step up besides those two, though. I mean, you get 69 points out of Maxey and Embiid. That's all you're asking for. Like, you got massive production, and Maxey almost gets to a triple-double. He's got 35, 10, and 9. Embiid's got 34, 10, and 6. And it's like they got one other guy in double digits, and that's Tobias Harris, who if you remember a play Tobias Harris made, then good luck to you. But
Yeah.
and the rest of them, like Oubre, or you're not going to get some kind of big offensive output out of Kyle Lowry. But they have had guys when they have been at their best step up. Oubre has stepped up in the past. Batum stepped up huge, right there at the very tail end of the season in the play-in game. That was like the Batum game. But I mean, Buddy Hield, I mean, he's irrelevant. He's got 2 points on 1 of 3 shooting. I mean, they got to get somebody else to go along. Whoever that third guy is, it's going to really be able to contribute. Now, in fairness,
and Hield, you mentioned Hield, Chris. Like, that's one of them where it's like, what the hell has happened to Buddy Hield? Where is the shot? Like, he just doesn't even shoot sometimes. I mean, you talk about like the Sixers needing players to step up when Embiid's on the floor. You can talk about the lack of a big behind him, but they're plus 17, 75 minutes in the series with Embiid on the floor. They're winning the minutes Embiid is on, but they're a minus 24 in only 21 minutes in the minutes that Embiid has been off. That's where Hield needs to just start taking threes. He needs to make shots. You need to find other ways to generate offense. Harris has to do something, and they're just not getting any of that, at all.
I'm not going to pronounce him dead yet, though, and here's why. Because that environment at Madison Square Garden was a 50 out of 10. It was unbelievable, right?
I need to go to a game. I want to go to a game so bad at MSG. I've only been to MSG when the Knicks have been bad, not with this type of team.
With as effusive in praise as you have been for the Sphere, Dolan will probably roll out the red carpet for you.
Oh, I would love that.
To go to the Garden. So
I'll be there next month for Dead & Company. I can't wait.
The point is that whole environment was raucous, unbelievable, and we know role players always play better at home. And the Knicks got it out of guys, right? Like, they got it out of Josh Hart. They got it out of Hartenstein. They got it out of a lot of these dogs. I mean, that's a team that's pretty easy to root for anybody that likes basketball, because they got a lot of tryhards on that team. But you had a lot of their ancillary players play a lot better in front of that home crowd. Roofs coming off the place. Philly's going to be a tough environment too. And so that's where, when we talk about, look, I think in some ways it's a positive that the best players for Philly are going off. Like, those guys are doing what they need to do. Now, obviously you don't have home court in this series, but you could have stolen that one easily tonight if you're Philly. This is how I talked myself into it. The fact that there was not a course correction for the Brunson thing in game 2 would set off a few alarms, I think. Isn't that fair? You would
for sure.
You would go, hey, man, like, it's one thing to be bad after one game, but that's 2 games. That's 2 games where he had a really, really tough time. He hit the huge shot at the end, but you're not going to be able to go over the course of a long series with Jalen Brunson shooting in the 30s.
Yeah, he was 8 for 26 in game 1 and 8 for 29 in game 2. And like you said, granted, he hit the winner. It was a stinker performance for him against that Philadelphia length. Yep. And I think for, you can flip that the other way too, though. You can say, well, Brunson's had plenty of games where he's gone off scoring against length over the duration of the regular season. We're winning games and we're up 2-0 despite Brunson only hitting 16 shots so far in the series. You could flip that the other way from the Knicks perspective too. So I think for Philadelphia, yes, you're going home. That's the great silver lining in all of this. And you were in these games where you feel like you got a shot. Like, they still only lose by 7 in game 1 as well. But ultimately, though, they had game 2 and they lost game 2. It slipped through their fingers at the end of the game, and I don't feel good about their odds of winning the series at this point, especially with Joel Embiid not being 100%. He's just not. He's not even anywhere close to 100% the way he's moving out there. Especially you see it on defense.